Hi, meteorologist Eric Thomas here with my first update on the big event coming up here in just about 18 days. Of course, you know what we're talking about here. April 8th, 2024, the next total solar eclipse. It is happening across the U.S. Now, unlike 2017, this one won't be cutting across the Carolinas. So if you want to see it, you still have time, but you will have to either take a long car ride or hop a plane. Now, along those lines, you can see the path here, and it will be moving up through some significant cities in the country. So it won't be hard to reach these areas with a quick and a short plane ride into these regions. For example, in fact, I'll take you through it right now. Let's talk about where and when this is all going to be occurring. So it'll be moving out of Mexico around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And keep in mind, the times I'm going to be giving you here are local times. So for example, in the Texas-Arkansas area, we're in Central Daylight Time. So in this region, around 1:30 in the afternoon, the total solar eclipse will be moving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Then around, getting close to 2 o'clock, it'll be moving up there north of Little Rock. And then as we move from Illinois into Indiana, now we've moved from Central Time back into Eastern Time. So this will be closer to 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the areas around Indianapolis. Again, notice you could fly into any one of these cities that I'm mentioning and almost fall out of the airplane and watch the total solar eclipse. It is cutting right on top of Cleveland, Ohio. Again, we're probably in that 3 to 3:30 in the afternoon time frame here. There you can see the Great Lakes. You have Buffalo and Rochester in the picture. On the other side of Lake Ontario, you have Watertown, New York, and then it works its way up through Maine as you get through the 3 o'clock hour. So that's kind of a quick thumbnail sketch of the path. Again, April 8th, that's 2024. Now I'm going to minimize this and we're going to go over to this NASA website. This is a great website. All you got to do, Google NASA solar eclipse. This should be the first website that you see that comes up on your list. If it's still not working for you, what I can do then is I'll put up the website here in the, I think in the upper left-hand corner as you're watching this video. So look at this. Now all you got to do is drag your mouse around and you can change the position of the moon, the earth, and in fact, if you want to swing it all the way around, you can see the sun way back there, 93 million miles away, and casting this purple shadow. Of course, it won't be purple when it cuts across the earth, but there it is for illustration purposes. You can see that shadow moving across the earth. And in fact, if you turn your attention down here to these playback controls, this is how you can advance the moon and watch the shadow go back and forth, if you will, on this earth. Now, we're going to go in closer here in just a minute, but watch this. I'm going to grab this little circular thing here, move it off to the right, and that will advance the moon, and there you can see how the shadow is cutting across the earth. All right, let me back it up here a little bit. Back it up. There you go. And so then you can back it up to its starting point and start all over. This works obviously a lot better when you're zoomed in on the Earth. Along those lines, on the left-hand side here, you will see 4 different views that you can play with. The 2, in my opinion, that are the best are the one we're looking at now, behind the moon, and then the Earth. These are fine too, Earth, Moon, and Sun, Earth, Moon. They're just kind of farther back, but essentially the same thing, but they allow you to see the solar system from a longer range view. All right, so let's click on Earth. Let's go in tight. And here it is. Now, you see these contours across the U.S. Let me hit pause again because this thing's moving along. All right, so these contours are basically just showing you where the areas of the partial solar eclipse are occurring, 50%, 75%, and then you get into this 95% stripe. But look at this, 100%, where's that occurring? Yeah, right there. That's in that really dark stripe coming across the middle of the country. So that's going to be the exciting zone. Folks, let me tell you again, you are not going to see the true spectacular phenomenon of a total solar eclipse unless you are actually in the total solar eclipse. In other words, if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be in this 90% range, that'll be good enough, right? No, not even 99%. You need to get in the total solar eclipse so you can actually see this phenomenon. It's a spiritual event. You'll see the sun completely covered by the moon, and then you see the sun's atmosphere, that corona that surrounds that black disk. It is unbelievable. All right, so I can't emphasize it enough. You got to do this. Try to find your way out there into the middle of the country, or for that matter, up into New England. All right, let's pull this back just a little bit. And I do want to show you a couple of things here before we roll on this. You see this outer shadow right here, all right? That is called the penumbra, and that is the area of partial solar eclipse, all right? But it is this narrow shadow right there in the middle, that spike, if you will, that is the umbra. That is the little shadow, but that is producing the total solar eclipse that's going to be moving along here in that very dark contour. All right, so let's go ahead and roll on this. And again, you're seeing 5 minutes of time compressed into just 1 second for the purpose of this animation. And so that'll help us get through this quickly. I may pause it again just for a moment as this thing rolls out of the Pacific Ocean and then rolls up into the United States. So we'll go ahead and let this go. Here, there again, you can see that outer circle, that penumbra, followed by this spike. That's the umbra. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it here because there it is now moving up through Texas, coming up through Arkansas. All right, I'm going to pause it. Let's drag my mouse here again. If you use your mouse wheel, you can scroll and zoom in and out as well. But the thing I want to point out here, where would you guess that is? Maybe Texas, Arkansas? Notice the time here. We're at 2:51 in the afternoon. But keep in mind, these times are Eastern time. So if you convert this to Central, that would be about 1:51 coming up on 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, so I'll go ahead and roll on this again. And there you can see the remainder of this eclipse and the sun's and the moon's shadow now moving up through the rest of the United States. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause this again. So pull it back. So again, have fun with this website. Great educational tool. If you want to learn more how this works, if you want to teach your kids or you're an educator and you have some students you want to show this to, yes, this is fantastic. All right, so that's the latest. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of how this is all working. I'm going to at least post one more update because I will be heading out to Arkansas with my family, and we're going to be enjoying this 4-minute event on April 8th. But the next post will be more about the equipment that I'm going to be taking with me. You know me, I've got my cameras, I've got my gadgets, and I just bought a tracking mount that will help me to track this whole event during that day. So more on that coming up in the next post. In the meantime, hope you're enjoying this. I know it was long, but it takes a while to really unpack all of this. All right, stand by and stay tuned. I'm meteorologist Eric Thomas.